Hello, my divinities. Welcome, welcome. So, today I got a tiny bit of a head start because I got off a little bit early, not too much, just like an hour, because I had to go to an appointment. So, we definitely got a meeting today. All right, let's see. I'm gonna put the incense here. All right. So let's go ahead and tap into today's energy. Let's see what we got. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. These are the ones that actually fell out. Two cards of movement. Okay. Two cards of movement. So that could mean a couple of different things. That could mean, I'm trying to center it, sorry. That could mean communication is coming in. But it can also be the mind because it's Sagittarius Mercury, so it's either somebody making a decision. Princess of Sacred Circles. That's like the page of Pentacles, but it's elevated because this deck is always, more elevated. There's a much bigger depth to the cards. So this could be Page of Pentacles, could be a student, it could be somebody going back to school, somebody deciding to take a specific course, somebody deciding to approach a specific teacher, or someone deciding to take on a student. It could also be somebody deciding to learn something new, like a language. It could be somebody, because it is the Eight of Wands, Eight of Staves is like Sagittarius Mercury, and the Six of Swords is Sagittarius Mercury. There's a lot of either mental energy, there's a lot of it, or communication. There's a lot of communication, one of the two. So if this is somebody communicating with someone else, they may have a gift for them. They may have and I'm being drawn towards the corn that's sitting behind her. I think it's drying, so it's like almost a gift. Ooh, Queen of Sacred Circles. It could be a gift someone's been holding on to for a while. Queen of Sacred Circles. Okay. This is either between family, because this is generations, right? Or it's somebody wanting to form a family, or it's like a business that started off small, it's about to take off. And it could also be a relationship that started off slowly and it's gaining more traction. And this could be different things. Like it could be somebody that you never thought you would get along with so well, and now they're like your best friend. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. God damn, Eight of Sacred. Okay. There's a lot of pentacle energy here, so this could definitely be more business oriented. Eight of Sacred Circles, it's whatever somebody is doing is paying off. Let's just put it that way. Because 8, wow. What the fuck? The Prince of Sacred Circles? Oh, all right. This could absolutely be. We have a couple though, because these two are a couple, right? This would be like a mother figure to one of the two. Because these two are linked, I would say it's a mother to this person. Now, mother figure could mean multiple things. Like it could be a coach that's mentoring this Prince of Sacred Circles. And they see them like a baby, right? They see them like somebody that they need to guide. But this is still a Prince of Sacred Circles. So they're not an experienced greenhorn, right? Although this person may see them that way. They just have like a lot more experience on them. Oh, Five of Swords reversed. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to get the little booklet that comes with it, because this Five of Swords is different than normal. So before I even open the booklet, I'm going to say normal Five of Swords, when it is upright, if I could grab the card, it represents wanting to win at all costs. It could represent blockages. It could represent a lot of tension, a lot of really hurtful words, a lot of my way or the highway, trying to dominate another person, trying to, winning the battle but losing the war type of energy. But with it being reversed, I would say that if there were family members who were at odds with each other, that's being resolved, right? Because the 6 comes after the 5. It's being resolved. But let's look at okay, so the 5 of Swords is idealism, youthful enthusiasm, even naivete. A time of learning, absorbing, and training, making a commitment to an ethos or organization. Alternately, blind faith and question. Oh, bitch. Okay, well, my version was a lot more peaceful. Because now when we flip that around, it means that if once upon a time this Prince of Sacred Circles, okay, this could go either way, right? It could be the Queen instead of the Prince. I feel like it's the Prince because they're the ones that are connected to this princess, right? And it feels like a more likely scenario. So let's say that this prince and princess are wanting to come together, mother is opposed, right? For a long time, this prince followed whatever their mother said because they had blind faith, blind loyalty in this person. Now they're kind of like, you know what, I feel like I'm old enough to make my own decisions. I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to argue with you. But you're not the only person I'm loyal to now. There's someone else I want to be loyal to. And I want to bring this person into my family. And do you notice how they're connected directly to the princess? But with this one, there's a space between them. That's why I'm interpreting it that way. Now, ooh, look, bitch. The 9 of Sacred Circles, and it feels like the same image. What the hell? And I swear these cards are not reversed. They are literally flipping over. So they're kind of calling out the Queen of Sacred Circles. This is just what I feel intuitively. They're kind of calling out this Queen of Sacred Circles, saying, you claim to be this nurturing mother, but with 9 of Sacred Circles reversed, you're not independent. You need me by your side, but you're not as independent as you claim to be, so you don't want me to move on with my life because you can't be alone. And I'm not trying to leave you alone, but you need to accept that I want to move on. I want to form, my own family. Oh, look. 3 of Swords, Justice card. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, so this is that's as far as the camera goes. Okay, I was gonna see if I could zoom it out more, but no, that's as far as it goes. Queen of Swords. This is like a scenario where I'm gonna say Prince of Sacred Circles because he doesn't look young, not in this deck. He doesn't look like some little, impetuous, impulsive, stupid little boy. He does not look like that. And he's riding off. So this could have been like a single mother who raised her son and basically claimed a lot of his time. You know how I'm so sorry, but I have to bring this up. There's a thing called emotional incest where, like, let's say that this Queen of Sacred Circles either didn't have a husband, or the husband was always gone, or the husband did not fulfill her emotional needs. She relied on her son. If this is a man, doesn't have to be, it could be a daughter, flip the roles as you see fit. They might have relied on the son to provide, support, encouragement, love, all the things that she wanted from her husband. And so now that the man is growing and wanting to form their own family, it feels almost like a divorce. It feels like a heartbreak. But in reality, it's just, this is karmic. This is a karmic mother or grandmother or aunt or Queen of Swords. See? Okay. Wow. Oh, damn. Okay. You know what? Okay. Because this could go another route, right? This could go the route where this could be a very karmic mother who's trying to, control her son's time and involvement with other people. But this could also be somebody who was involved with like an older woman, possibly, because this could definitely feel like an older woman. So let's say that this is, let's go with that potential as well, because I am reading for a collective. It could go multiple ways. Let's say that this is a younger than this Queen of Sacred Circles, right? They have been involved with this Queen of Sacred Circles for some time, and now they want to move on. And they're either married, which would require a divorce, but this person does not want to be independent. This Queen of Sacred Circles does not want to let go. And they're using, this is Queen of Swords energy, but when you pair that with the Lovers and the Devil, followed by the Seven of Sacred Circles, Seven of Swords, this is somebody who's like, oh no, I have invested way too much of my time and my energy. This Queen of Sacred Circles may even feel like they've given their best years to this knight, to this prince. And therefore, they're going to do whatever it takes to hold on to them. They will not let go. Now, they're trying to persuade this person of like, we are a perfect match. We are good for each other. Why would you want to go somewhere else? But you can't force people's heart, right? You can love people, but you can't force people to stay where they don't want to stay. So I'm actually going to leave. This here feels like a whole other story. Not different story. It's just like a whole glimpse into what's going on. So I actually want to keep it together because I'm surprised the Devil didn't come out over here, but it's because I think, and this is just theory, right? Excuse me. I don't think the Prince of Sacred Circles understands yet that this is a karmic connection, whether it's a karmic mother or whether it's a karmic lover. Because if it's a mother, there's a mother who's like, I raised this man. I, worked my ass off. I did this, I did that. I dedicated myself to them. So no, I'm going to do everything I can to undermine that connection because this is my little boy, my man. But there's like emotional incest for sure. She's half in love with her own son, which is really gross. I'm sorry, but it is. That's like, I have an issue when I see mothers being like way too familiar with their sons. I'm just like, oh, stop. It grosses me out for real. So this could go either way. And I'm only going to speak of him as a masculine because it's the only masculine on the table. And then there's the other two women, clearly a Three of Swords. So it could be flipped, right? This could be the only feminine and these are two masculines. But I'm going with the cards because it just helps keep the story straight for now, okay? So let's clarify. Clarify Queen of Swords. We've got the Seven of Cups, the World card, and the Six of Cups. Oh, yeah. Five of Pentacles. Look, Three of Swords again. Wow, the Hierophant. Okay. Oh, wow. This is wild. Because, again, this could be interpreted two different ways. One, this is, a karmic mother who is using whatever culture these people hail from. So let's say that they're Native American. Let's say that they are I feel like they're people of color. They're brown people. I don't know why I feel that, but I do. Only because I honestly don't see this too much with white people. Let's be real. So they might be Mexican, they might be Hispanic of some kind, they could be Italian, they're also considered Latino, something like that. It's something where family ties are seen as traditional. They could honestly be Asian. I've seen that as well. Hindu. And so they're pulling a full drama, but the drama on the table we got the Five of Swords reversed. The drama used to work, it's not working anymore. So now they're trying to do the guilt trip of like, well, this is how we've always done things. The son takes care of the mother, in her old age, and you're gonna leave me abandoned, and like they're going that route. Now, if this is a lover, it's similar. It's just the Prince of Sacred Circles is the one that has the abundance of finances. Ironically, because Queen of Sacred Circles normally does quite well for herself. So I would say this Queen of Sacred Circles is not, I don't think she's like a bad person because she didn't come out reversed herself. But she may be somebody who's like an overgiver. She may be somebody who is not very independent. And so they can resort to being a little manipulative, guilt trippy. If it's a lover, they want to stay married. They want to be like, don't break my heart. I want to stay with you forever, yada, yada, yada. But this masculine, it's just not working. It's just not working because at the Seven of Cups, whoever the Princess of Sacred Circles is to them, they fantasize about them all the time. They feel like this sense of wholeness and completion when they are near the Princess of Sacred Circles. I feel like that's my soulmate though. And as much as this Queen of Sacred Circles is a big figure in their lives, whether as a mother or as a lover, they see things clearly as well. They are also the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is that person and it's them at the same time. Now this could also, because in this card, this is a goddess, this could also be like a spirit guide helping this Prince of Sacred Circles to see things clearly. So they're not being manipulated anymore. Even if maybe at one time that did work. It's just not working anymore. So okay. Sorry, I had to look at a message real quick. So regardless of what it is, if before this blockage was working for some time because they were afraid of leaving the Queen of Sacred Circles alone, they were afraid of the Queen of Sacred Circles not being able to take care of herself, whatever it is, now they're like, no, you know what? I feel like, I want to mention one more thing before I say what the Prince of Sacred Circles is thinking. I feel like there's a very specific reason why this Queen of Sacred Circles and the Nine of Pentacles is coming out with like full white hair, because I feel like she's trying to portray herself as like a vulnerable, defenseless old soul, when she may be more like this. And so this person is just like, look, you're not this. Stop, please. I am not trying to be a villain, but I do want to move on with my life. Please understand. And now the fact that immediately we started with the two cards of movement, and then we've got the Chariot as well with the Seven of Wands. Look at this, and the Three of Wands, and the, oh my God, and the Ten of, yeah. Nothing. This person feels unstoppable now. They're not trying to be cruel. They're not trying to be ugly. They're not trying to be petty, but they're just like, enough is enough. Clarify Eight of Staves. Clarify the Eight of Staves. Clarify the Eight of Staves. Ten of Wands. Did we not just see the Seven of Wands, Three of Wands together? Clarify Eight of Wands. See, here's the thing with that Ten of Wands. Clarify the Eight of Wands. Clarify Eight of Wands. Whoever this Queen of Sacred Circles is, I think that their tactic was always like, oh, I need you. Whether this is a lover or a son, the tactic was, I need you, and that person doesn't, And that was usually their argument. That was their way of convincing this prince that, you should stay with me. But interestingly enough, this Queen of Swords, remember when I said they're trying to be manipulative? This Queen of Swords is now 3 different people, actually 4. Number 1, it's this person trying to be manipulative, right? Trying to be a larger than life energy in this Prince of Sacred Circles life. The Queen of Swords is also the Prince of Sacred Circles, now seeing things clearly. The Queen of Sacred Circles is also a spirit guide, guiding this Prince of Sacred Circles so that he can see things clearly. And fourth, now the Princess of Sacred Circles is showing up as the Queen of Swords, but in a totally different way. She is showing up as somebody who has boundaries, someone who can say no, someone who has very clear communication, someone who stands up for themselves. And initially, I think this Prince of Sacred Circles had things that they had to work on within themselves, clearly, right? We all do. But when they met this Princess of Sacred Circles, there could be a difference, like financially, between them. Like the Princess of Sacred Circles financially may have less than this Prince of Sacred Circles. But when it comes to character, she shows up as a queen, right? So they kind of shrank from this Queen of Swords initially because they felt smaller than her. They felt like, she doesn't need me, but the Queen of Sacred Circles does. However, with time, codependency becomes suffocating. That's why anything that has codependency attached to it usually does not last, because initially it feels like a weighted blanket. It feels safe. It feels secure. It feels like, this grounds me. Somebody needs me, But if that person is growing, if that person is evolving, after a while, that blanket is going to feel suffocating. They're going to want to throw it off and need air. And that's what's happening here. This feeling that they had to be there for this Queen of Sacred Circles, whoever they are, whether mother or lover, has become oppressive. They started yearning for the independent boundary, clear-spoken Queen of Swords. That became what they started yearning for, what they started wishing that they were connected to. And it's sad, it's sad because I don't know about you, but I've been once upon a time in the place of this Queen of Sacred Circles where I did not know how to be independent. But I will say, I don't know, maybe it's the way my chart is created. I would have to figure it out. And at the time, I would do this thing where I would bounce from one relationship to another because I was too prideful to ask anyone to stay, but I didn't know how to be alone. So I would bounce from one to another. Horrible, I know. But we all deal with it in different ways. And this Queen of Sacred Circles does not want to go to another connection. They want to stay with them, which, is in their mind, it makes sense. Why? When we work together so well. But look. This Prince of Sacred Circles is nearing the end of the cycle of this karmic connection. They are exhausted. They're stressed. They want something more sustainable. With the 7 of Pentacles that also showed up under here, while the Queen of Sacred Circles is saying, I've spent too much time, I've spent too much energy invested in this Prince of Sacred Circles. The Prince of Sacred Circles is like, yeah, but everything I've invested into you, it's a never-ending investment, and I'm not really getting back. Like this is not a good investment, because a good investment would be, like, let's say that this is a grandmother, okay, and the grandmother had children fairly young, so she's always been, pretty active. She may have started her own business or may have started multiple businesses, and this Prince of Sacred Circles is always footing the bill and footing the bills and footing the bills, letting her kind of explore herself, figure herself out. At some point they're like, look, I'm a grown man now and you still haven't figured yourself out. And it's like the investment is not growing. I'm just throwing money away. It's not about not taking care of you. It's the fact that it's quite a chunk of money, because we keep saying, over here we saw the seven of sacred circles. Here we got the seven of pentacles. Here we see the eight of pentacles. All together is 10 pentacles. So this young man could have made themselves wealthy. And I'm saying young man only because they're younger than the queen of sacred circles. This prince of sacred circles is someone who's very reliable, practical. They might have known how to invest well. So they've got, they can take care of themselves and the queen of sacred circles. But they are getting to the point where it's, hey, like, come on now. I don't have to be throwing all of this money at you. Or it could be that this queen of sacred circles is very spoiled, wants a lot of, expensive gifts. Because I'm feeling the financial burden. That's another reason I'm saying that. Clarify Six of Swords. Clarify the Six of Swords. Ace of Cups. Clarify the Six of Swords. Five of Cups. Now, I do want to mention the fact that this could be the other way around. The Queen of Sacred Circles could be the one that has the money, but they don't want the independence. But still, the story remains that the one that wants to be independent now is this Prince of Sacred Circles. So that stays there as well, okay? So I got the Ace of Cups, the Five of Cups, Death card, wow. Six of Wands, and the Page of Swords. The Eight of Swords, Queen of Cups. There they are, Knight of Pentacles. Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? It could be that the Princess of Sacred Circles, yes, financially they may have less than the Prince of Sacred Circles, than the Queen of Sacred Circles, but they're showing up as a queen in every other way. They're showing up as a Queen of Swords, they're showing up as a Queen of Cups, and a Queen of Wands. And there is an intimidation factor, because this Prince of Sacred Circles feels like, okay, financially, I may have more than this person, but emotionally, they're way more healed and open than I am. Confidence-wise, energy-wise, they radiate power, confidence, authority. Queen of Swords, they're way more knowledgeable. So there's like an intimidation factor. But they also can't hold back anymore. So I think initially they might have pulled back. They might have held back, like, I don't know if I can approach. I don't know if I can say what's on my mind. But see, this triple queen, this Princess of Sacred Circles, has this effect of opening up their heart. That's the effect they have on them. So with the Five of Cups, when they are not near this Princess of Sacred Circles, when they are not, I don't know why I'm getting near, or in her presence, or connected to her, there's this feeling of loss, and it's deep, because this is Scorpio Mars energy. And then this is Pluto right next to it. So there's this deep, profound sense of loss. It's like the type of loss that it's not just in your home. When you miss somebody that moved out, it's almost like you can still feel them there. This goes beyond that. This is the type where their soul, because Pluto touches your soul, their soul yearns for this Princess of Sacred Circles. Then we've got the Six of Wands, Page of Swords. There's a lot of admiration here. They've grown to really admire this Princess of Sacred Circles. This Page of Swords could indicate that they're either watching her, like, if these two are within proximity, this is somebody who pretends, to go grab something from the refrigerator, but they're secretly watching her out of the corner of their eye. Or if they work together, they act like they're just passing by this office, but they They're always glancing in to see what she's up to. You know, that type, it's like a covert type of watching. It's not creepy either, but it's like they're observing her. Let's put it that way. And it doesn't have to be that they're that close in proximity. This could be them watching her online profile, or her stories on WhatsApp, or things like that. Like they're on the lookout. But with the Six of Swords, it's because they're observing her and they're seeing the caliber of person that this Princess of Sacred Circles is. It just they cannot sit still anymore. The Eight of Swords that used to be there, remember, we're clarifying the Six of Swords, the Eight of Wands. It's grown. Their emotions and desire for this Princess of Sacred Circles has grown beyond being able to sit still. Oh, we're at the 30-minute mark. Okay, I'm going to stop here. And I will, if you're on Patreon, you get to see part 2. I will see you on the other side. And if you're not on Patreon, I hope you sign up. Just word of warning, I am a lot more sporadic at this moment. I'm going to try and get back into a rhythm because I relocated. There's a lot going on. So I'm trying to get back into a rhythm, back into a little schedule so that I feel more grounded myself. So yeah, that's what we got for you on part 1. So I hope to see you guys on part 2. Bye bye.